PrincessAnuTv. Hi. Guys, today is going to be a story time. Some of you have been asking me, share your experiences about school, about your flying and all that. And I want to share a practical experience that I had. I was flying with one of my classmates and we had an alternator failure. So I'm going to be sharing with you just a bit of the things that happened. Like, it was almost like a horror story. It was almost like not going to have a happy ending, but we give God all the glory. So I'm going to be sharing it with you today. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be right back for this story time. Welcome back, guys. Yeah, and if you're new to this channel, this is PrincessAnu TV. We talk about aviation, motivation, and adventure. And if you've not subscribed, click on the subscribe button and click on the bell so that whenever I post any video, whenever I post any video, you'll be able to see it. Welcome to my story time. I'm going to be telling you about our flight. Okay, this was how the whole thing started. Okay, we were supposed to go from Zaria to Kaduna, and no, Zaria to Duse to Katsina back to Zaria, because that's one of the longest kind of routes that we usually go. And so it will give you an average of like 4 hours 30 minutes. We were doing like hour building. It's give you just an average, like sometimes 4 hours 30 minutes, sometimes 4 hours like 45 minutes. And like if you do that leg, that complete leg, Zaria to Duse to Katsina back to Zaria. So we usually do that. It's one of our favorite routes, especially for my own class. So we always do that. And this day we were doing that route, but this time around I was not the captain of the flight. I was the co-pilot, because I was flying with one of my classmates, like a very nice guy, because you know he's always like, okay, he's always very, very active. And so I was like, oh, let's go. And you know, obviously when it's time to get hours, you can fly with anybody, because we all need hours. Like, you know, you need your hours to be able to meet the requirements for the CPL. You need about 150 hours generally, but you need a particular amount of cross-country hours. I don't want to be giving some requirements and all that here, because that's not what the video is about. But you need some hours anyways to like get your CPL. So if you don't have this amount of hours, you will not be able to meet the requirements for your CPL. And so that was what we were doing. And now we've already done the first leg, like Zaria to Duse, and now we got to Duse, everything was fine. We now got to Katsina. Okay, we did the first leg, we did the second leg, now we were at Katsina. All of a sudden, guys, our alternator started bringing out the light. And you know, when there's any problem with the aircraft, there's you have your instrument board and all that, and you can see it's just like a dashboard in a car. You can just see it, like every single thing that is wrong. And you know, on the instrument panel, we began to see that the alternator light was popping up. I'm like, in fact, I was one that noticed it first, because obviously my captain was flying and I had to like, okay, be checking out T's and P's. You always have to be checking out those T's and P's. You need to be changing tanks. You know all that anyways. You'll be changing your fuel tanks. You'll be checking your T's and P's. That's your temperature and pressure, to be sure they are always in green sector, so that you don't have any abnormalities. And so that was, as a co-pilot anyways, that's one of the major things you're going to be doing, especially when you're going on cross country. So I was doing my job very, very well. So yeah, I was doing my job very well, and so I had to be checking T's and P's. You know, okay, I said T's and P's, green sector. Okay, we've changed our fuel tank, and all of a sudden I was just looking and I saw alternator light on. It's kind of a yellow light that, you know, blinks. Alternator, my mind was keeping. I was like, I don't have to call his name yet. I should call his name. I was like, hey, alternator light. And he was like, which one is this? And so the first thing I did was I was like, thank God, because we were just like we were setting course overhead that particular aerodrome. Like we're setting course overhead Katsina, and so I was just like, see guy, if this thing does not work, let's just come and land in Katsina, then we will decide what we are going to do later. We cannot, because from Katsina to like Zaria, we still had an average of like 50 minutes 1 hour. Do you get? So we cannot, it's not something that we want to be trying our luck. And another thing is, knowledge has a way, knowledge plays a very, very large role. And this is what I mean by knowledge plays a very, very large role. Like, do you know about this aircraft? So the first thing that's coming to my mind, God, if the alternator quits, what is going to happen? And I'm going to be sincere to you. At that time, I was not sure of exactly every single thing that was going to happen when an alternator quits. In fact, in my head, I was like, if an alternator quits, does it mean the engine is going to quit? Anyways, when the alternator quits, it doesn't mean the engine is going to quit. So, you know, it was when we landed, like, when we finally had to land, I now had to think of, okay, what would have happened? Like, we had to start doing our research. Like, you know, that kind of thing, what is bad. And that's why, you know, when they're teaching you all these things in ground school, please pay attention. We learned kind of in a hard way as far, you know, the duress and all. There are some things, you know, they say knowledge brings a certain kind of relaxation. Like, knowledge makes you boastful in a way that you know what to expect. Okay, if this thing happens, we are not going to die. Hello. So, you know, that kind of thing. But by the way, we know we checked all these things, and we checked all these things on ground because, you know, you are going to sign out the aircraft in your name and all that. And so you're going to check all these things on ground to make sure that they are completely working before you even take off. And yeah, first leg, it was good. Second leg, it was good. Now, coming back to our final leg, it was like, oh, this is going to be a horror story. And I was like, let us try this thing. If it doesn't work, please, just let's call Katsina Tower and tell them that we are coming to land. And he was like, okay, let's just keep trying. And what I noticed was that as I was placing my hand on the alternator, it would stay. Like, it will not show the light again. That means it was working. And you know, the alternator is what charges the battery. And once the alternator stops working, you're going to have a battery life, which was something that was in my head. I was like, okay, how long can our battery last? And based on the POH and everything, they've told us, okay, the battery is likely to last 50 minutes. But because of how old the aircraft is, obviously, you are not expecting that battery to last 50 minutes. You're expecting maybe 30 minutes or less. I mean, for the kind of aircraft we were flying. So I'm not talking generally for all aircraft. Every aircraft has a particular battery in them, and that battery has a timing. And the timing, even on the POH, it also depends on how long that aircraft has been in service, because you know, the more you keep using a particular thing, the more it downgrades. Like, it's just like you keep using a phone. The way the phone was very effective like 10 years ago, it's not the way this phone is going to be effective at the moment that you're using it, because as you keep using a particular thing, it degrades. So I knew that that aircraft is old, and they always tell us, once something happens, don't be putting in your mind that this battery is going to last for 50 minutes, because you may never have that 50 minutes. And so I was like, God, I'm going to call for an emergency at this point. But he was like, okay, let's try this method. So I kept my hand there. If I keep my hand there, it's going to stay. So the light is going to go off. And I said, okay, I'm just going to keep my hand here. You just continue flying. Guys, now I'm laughing, but I'm going to tell you the truth. At that moment in that aircraft, my mind was, oh, Lord, please, we have to make it. Yeah, and let me tell you something. Some things that will happen when an alternator fails in the aircraft is that you're going to lose some electrical systems, because obviously it powers most of the electrical systems in the aircraft. And so if your battery finally fails, like, you might not be able to deploy flaps. Your engine will still be running, yeah, but then I was scared about, oh God, if the engine quits, can we start the engine? Because you know, if your engine quits in flight, there are ways you can actually restart the engine before you like come down, like come too low. So you can glide the aircraft and try to restart and all that. So my mind was, if this engine should quit, we cannot start this engine again, Father. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, at that moment, every single thing was going through my mind, like every single thing. So finally, anyways, we were able to do that method. We kept our hands there. We didn't need to call emergency. We didn't need to call ATC to tell them that, sorry sir, we are having an alternator failure. But I was like, see, guys, if we continue this method and this thing doesn't work, we will have to call. And I thank God, you know, that's one of the things, like, sometimes when the captain of the flight is always like, you know, the person knows that he's responsible totally for the flight. And yeah, there's a way, I don't know, when you're the one handling the flight, like I mean the captain, there is this showers of responsibility, and you act like you have the whole world in your hands. I'm serious. You don't blame people when they are like, don't worry, we're going to make it. When your captain is telling you we're going to, because the guy knows that he has no choice than to get you back on the ground. And so I was really happy about his confidence, and the method we used for that, you know, me keeping my hand there and all that, like helped, you know, for us to make it back to our airport. And seriously, that thing kept having issues till we like got back. But the good thing is that keeping our hand there like helped us to like get back, and we didn't have to like start doing emergency procedures. Okay, let's quickly land, let's quickly do this. You know when a student pilot start doing all those things, you're going to be putting the people on ground on duress, because they're like, can they make it, can they not make it, what's going to happen? So we were just able to treat the issue like within us. Then when we landed, we like talked about it, like, oh, our alternator is having issues, and all. We did not die, we did not crash. That is why you're still seeing me like this. So yeah, I just want to talk about it because some of you have been asking me of my experiences, and so you know sometimes I talk only about the good part. Yeah, sometimes we have some bumpy rides when flying, especially as student pilots. So I hope you enjoyed the story. If you want more story times, yeah, I have them. I have them in my mind, because these things are part of what builds experience. You know, in aviation, you try to build experience, because that's why they ask people for 15,000 hours. I think the reason why they ask for 15,000 hours, like 1,500 hours and 3,000 hours, 12,000 hours, is because they know the more you fly, the more experiences you gather, the more experiences you kind of like have. So it's like an experience that is built under my belt now. I know what to do exactly when an alternator kind of like has an issue. I know, okay, what to expect, okay, what not to do, because when we got on ground, we had to go read about it. We argued it with our classmates. If an alternator fails, what's going to happen? We had alternator failure. You know, all those things, and we all had to learn from the experiences of one person. That's why I say always gist with your classmates, always find out what's up with them, because they have bank of knowledge that based on their experience of flying that you might not know about. So till I meet you in the next video, keep watching. I'm going to be seeing you very soon. Bye guys, love you.